We were lucky enough to spend summers in Quidnet each year in the old life-saving station, also known as Humane House number 61. Summers in Quidnet were simple and fun. We had free rein for adventures: biking, sailing, swimming, games on the beach, and fishing. This is me. We caught a lot of bluefish, and ugh, the next day, my mother would make something called bluna fish, which none of us liked. This is a story about a story that we were told when we were children. We always thought it was a ghost story, but it turns out that it is really a love story about coming home to Nantucket. The story of Dr. Winslow's heart would usually be told to us while we were gathered around the fire on a dark and stormy night. Charles F. Winslow was born in a house on India Street in 1811 when the American flag had only 15 stars and James Madison was president. When he died, the flag had 38 stars and Ulysses S. Grant was president. In 1811, there were 6,807 people living on Nantucket. The Nantucket Enquirer was first published in 1821. The Great Fire wiped out most of town in 1846. In 1855, Dorcas Honorable, the last Native American Indian, died. And, of course, Nantucket was the whaling capital of the world. Dr. Winslow had a natural curiosity about the world. He was trained by his loving mother, Phoebe Winslow, in such a manner that he quickly outdistanced every other pupil in the Nantucket School. In 1834, he graduated from Harvard Medical School. He became a doctor, a lawyer, and an advanced student of astronomy and the nature of the universe. He spent time in many far-flung places, including the Hawaiian Islands, Tahiti, Chile, and California. He married Lydia Coffin Jones and became one of the island's most prominent physicians. After his wife's death in 1874, Dr. Winslow made his will, and it was unique. I request, order, and command that, if in the course of 8 and 40 hours it be positively proved that I am dead,
my heart shall be removed from my body by a competent anatomist, placed in a strong glass vessel having a ground glass stopper, and that this vessel be immediately filled for the purpose of embalming my heart with a saturated solution of muriate of ammonia. I order this vessel put in a thick oak box made just to size, and the box saturated with coal tar. This I wish enclosed in a plain pine case and buried in the south of Newtown burying ground on the island of Nantucket where I was born. My dear father lies by my mother's side, and a single stone records their final resting place. Thus may this sacred spot be known where I wish my heart to rest. I order that my body be burned and placed in the same grave at Mount Auburn in Boston, which contains the precious remains of my great, dear, and beloved wife. Signed, Dr. Charles F. Winslow.
His instructions were carried out, and there is evidence that he may have been the first person in the West to be cremated. His ashes are buried with Lydia on Mound Avenue at Mount Auburn in Boston under some very tall and old trees. There are 9 town-owned cemeteries on Nantucket, and they are just about completely full. You might be familiar with some of them, such as the Quaker Burial Ground, which has over 5,000 Quakers in it, stacked like dominoes, but only 56 tombstones. The Quakers did not believe in earthly bonds or frivolous ornamentation. I often wonder what they would think of Nantucket today. As children, we would go visit Dr. Winslow's grave and maybe leave a shell or some flowers. The grave marker, then flush with the ground, was easy to find. I had not been there in many years when last summer my friend James and I set out to find it one night. We had no luck. Intrigued, I went back the next afternoon, and after some more looking, was able to find the parents' tombstone, which had toppled over onto the ground. I was about to give up on finding the marker for Dr. Winslow's heart when I fell backwards into a hole, and there it was, completely grown over. I came back here, and look at this, look what I found. I found it. It's buried under the ground. Charles F. Winslow.
You don't think we're going to get arrested, do you?
It depends how long this takes.
The reason we know that the story is true is that Edward Rowe Snow, a student of New England maritime history, researched and wrote about it. In the 1940s, he came to the island to verify the story. Most of the islanders he asked had never heard of Dr. Winslow's heart, but enough had that he was able to investigate further. He obtained permission to have the caretaker of the Newtown Cemetery use an iron prod to poke around the ground at the foot of the parents' grave, and, not too far down, he hit a hard object that was the size of a small box. They dug it up and opened it, and inside was a smaller box holding the glass vessel with Dr. Winslow's heart, exactly as he had so long ago instructed. In an autumn issue of the Enquirer and Mirror in 1947, there was a small article about the mystery that read, Dr. Winslow died on 1877, in Salt Lake City, and had sent his heart across the country to be buried at his native Nantucket. An anonymous Nantucket resident admitted that he buried the heart at midnight one autumn night in 1878. With that admission, the case has been marked closed. You know how when someone dies, we're told, but you'll always have the memories? Well, that's true, but only for a generation or two. After that, we have only the stories, and the stories must be told in order for them to stay alive and not to completely disappear.
Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Say nighty-night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you miss me. While I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me. Stars fading but I linger on, dear. Still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear. Just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be,